Myke here with Myke's Wilderness, and just trying to get back to using my sport camera here and shooting a few seconds of video while I'm here in the Minneopa State Park, trying to get through this COVID-19 virus lockdown, pandemic lockdown, and yeah, a little bit more about it later, but just want to see if this camera is even still working. Looks like it's doing pretty good, so we'll play a little bit more of it later. Got it set up now anyway. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy watching trains, and it's always amazing at how large they are and how much they can move across our country. I enjoy looking at the graffiti art on the side of some of these boxcars because they can sometimes be very artistic. I don't know how anybody has enough time to sit there and draw it all, but apparently they do. This train is speeding up, it's getting faster and faster. I suppose it'll be at the end here shortly, but yeah, always fun train spotting. Ha! What a great time. Kind of interesting what you find in the woods. I was here last time a few days ago and there was no blanket, and now there's this Christmas patterned blanket laying on this tree drying out. And looking way over there, I see a couple of deer walking through the trees. Can barely make them out, but man, they're big. 1, 2, 3 of them I can see, and not certain if they know I'm here, but hopefully they're right to the right of that tree that you see on the left. Okay, if they get any closer or I see them better, I'll let you know. Well, I'm back at another lookout point that I was actually here a couple of weeks ago when I made a couple of tent stakes, and the extra wood I had I put up in that tree. The stick that I cut it from is laying down here, and just for reference, this is that overlook that is looking down on the Minneopa Creek Valley and the construction that the railroad is doing on the bridge. And so that's where I'm at right now, and I want to do a little whittling, so I'm gonna grab these 2 sticks and see if I can get a little something out of them. Maybe make another couple of tent stakes. Then I'll have 4. Then maybe we'll do some kind of a shelter project and show you how that's done. Okay, take care. Well, there you go, my friends. A couple of tent pegs made out of some basswood. As you can notice, this time around I made a larger notch to accommodate larger cordage rather than just trying to accommodate the paracord that I usually use. But yeah, I've got a couple of tent pegs there, and I did use my Swiss Army knife, which has got all the multi-tool features in it. Really enjoy using this knife. I've carried one for years, and it's always been fun to do some whittling in the woods. I've got a book coming by Felix Imler on doing 62 projects with the Swiss Army knife, and I'll have to share some of that when it finally arrives. But for right now, yeah, I'm going to enjoy using these. The nice thing about learning to carve tent pegs is not only do you have something for putting up a shelter, but you can save all the curls and all of the chips and pieces of wood to put together some tinder to get your fire started. And that's not a bad way to go. So All right, on to the next part of the adventure. I believe this could be some coyote dung or a very large wild dog, but there's a lot of fur in those droppings, and if you can see that, I'm trying to get close up here with a macro. It just kind of confirms that those animals are in this woods. Okay. This is a pit toilet in the state park, closed because of the pandemic that we are living through on this day. I don't know if I've mentioned that, but just as a verbal point of reference, I guess, it is April 4th, 2020, and yeah, we're living in something of a self-quarantine kind of a condition. We're all trying to stay away from each other. Anyway, that's the state of the affairs here in the park. No bathrooms. Well, hello, my friends. It just, I just thought I'd stop here and at the Eagle Lookout and just share with you just some random thoughts I've had. You know, it's funny during this whole kind of a lockdown, self-isolation situation that you get a chance to think about a lot of things. And although I've always understood this, it just seemed more profound. And that is that the wilderness doesn't care whether you live or die. It's neither for you nor against you. All the animals of the forest here are going about their business, living and dying on their own. And I've heard geese and birds of all kinds. You can hear some of the chickadees in the background. And they just go on about their business. And yeah, it just struck me just how much of a kind of a detachment we have from the world, that nature and the wilderness and all of that doesn't care. It's just going to go on about its business, living and breathing and doing what it does. And we can only just come out to share it with ourselves and with others. Anyway, random thoughts. All right, on with the road. While I was sitting there at the Eagle Lookout, I decided to interview a fellow hiker named Greg and his wife Karen, and the following is how that interview went. Hello, my friends. Some of you who have followed my channel, I've kind of promised I would try to interview some people as they're handling this COVID-19 virus, I don't know what you call it, quarantine or self-isolation or whatever.
Self-isolation, my
So
goodness.
this is Craig, and he's out here in the Minneopa State Park, and he's promised to answer the burning question. How are you doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah?
We're doing good. I'm not afraid, and I'm trying to follow the rules, and I break them sometimes. But Yeah, we're taking care,
Good.
but not
good.
in fear.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about all we can probably promise ourselves. Are you still going to the grocery stores?
We're still going to the grocery store.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we're getting out whenever we can because we think it's real important
Sure.
to keep moving, but we're just trying to do it on a remote basis.
Sure. Yeah. Very
Keep
good.
our 6-foot distance.
Yeah. Very good. Let's see what else.
Working on masks.
Yeah.
We just started that yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, that would be an important thing to have at one time. This
hand sanitizer because there just wasn't any, and there hasn't been in any of the stores that we've seen.
Yeah, a lot of washing of hands and soap and water, and I understand there's formulas out there for making your own hand sanitizer out of aloe vera and
aloe vera and alcohol.
Alcohol.
You need to have at least 60% alcohol.
So.
And so we purchased some aloe vera, and it wasn't honest aloe vera. So when I poured the alcohol in with it, this whitish distillate came down. So there was something else. There was some glycerol and other things in there.
Sure.
That's my wife, Karen.
Oh, hi, Karen.
He's
doing a video interview here for
a YouTube channel.
She's done.
YouTube channel.
Hi,
Hi, Karen.
Yeah, Karen's waving hi there.
It's nice to be outdoors.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
Because we can go out to the park.
Yeah.
We could even go fishing.
Yeah. A lot of things you can do together.
There's a lot of things that you can do together.
Are you working from home or are you retired?
Are you working from home or are you retired?
I'm retired part-time.
She says I'm retired. I work part-time at home.
Okay.
I'm trying to make money.
Very good.
In the stock market.
Yeah.
Are you retired, she asked.
No, I am working for the community college in North Mankato. And I have a job there as an IT person.
IT person. Welcome to the Windows 10 problem.
Yeah. Trying to keep everybody going.
He said it's guaranteed to keep everybody going. She says, why did he think that I was retired? Do I look that old?
No. I was just kind of wondering, you looked like you might be my age, so you could be getting pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the advantages of being a writer is that you can keep on freelancing into older years.
Very good. Very good.
So she does a good job of that.
Thank you.
Most importantly, I would just encourage people. I think one of the hardest parts of going through this is fear. I think it is stress, and taking care of those things is so important. You can do Zoom meetings to family.
Yep.
If you're not a religious person, this is a good time to start praying and asking God about how He can be close to you. And so I just encourage that. And if you already are a church-going person, there's a lot of ways to connect to church, even through the TV, and not having to show up at a big event.
Well, thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you
for being on my channel. If you want to check it out on YouTube, it's Myke's Wilderness, M-Y-K-E-S, Wilderness, all one word. And like and subscribe if you like.
Very much.
A lot of short videos. I just noticed up over your shoulder here there's an eagle way up there.
Let me show my wife.
And
there's an eagle.
Yep, you can see it.
Over there. Yeah.
Well, here we are back at one of my favorite lookouts, and I think it's time to stop, sit down, and take the pack off and maybe prep a cup of cocoa or something. Let's see if we can, there we go. And yeah, let's get some cocoa going. All right. What a beautiful day. got the water on to boil. So, cup of hot chocolate coming up. And again, for everybody's question, that is the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. And boy, do I love that stove. That just does a marvelous job. It's such a well-regulated stove. It works as a burner all the time, almost every temperature. Wow, been outside long enough to have yet another train coming through. Two engines. More graffiti. Oh, that's good cocoa. And that setup right there, Pocket Rocket Deluxe in the Stanley pot, 8 ounces of water. It took about 2.5 minutes, and I had it warm enough to get my hot chocolate. So here's to all you other hikers out there who are trying to cope with this same situation. Oh, that's good. I just want to share one simple thing here before I take off. Got the rig all packed up and ready to go, but as I was sitting here, there's so much in nature that goes by that's even difficult to catch with a camera. I saw some large gray squirrels playing with each other, and so many different woodpeckers, difficult to count, and robins are coming back, and I saw a dust devil of sorts over near the prairie with a bunch of leaves just spinning around like a little miniature tornado, making all kinds of noise. It was unusual. Sounded like a flock of birds for a bit. But all of that being said, you know, there's so much that you need to just sit quiet and observe, and these things will come to you, because it just continues to go on and on all by itself. It's like it doesn't even know that the rest of us are doing anything unusual, trying to cope with stress in this strange time in our lives. So with that, I'm going to get this pack on and hit the road, or hit the trail, and we'll wrap these things up when we get closer to the parking lot and get to the car. I'll probably have a couple more little nuggets to share in the meantime. Okay. Such a beautiful old oak. Tall and gnarly. Some days I feel like that. Like a big old oak. I always love stopping at this tree. Kind of fun to sit down there and have a lunch once in a while. Okay, moving on. Some good bark for building a natural shelter. Good to find these resources. You gotta keep your eyes open. Well, my friends, thanks for coming along on this day hike adventure. I'm going to leave you with another example of a chorus of leopard frogs. Chiming in are the red-winged blackbirds, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day. Probably up close to 50 degrees and having a great time. I hope that you've enjoyed all the things that I've shared, and that you will continue to follow me as I try to adapt to these new and different times. Thanks for coming along on the adventure and sharing things with me. And appreciate all your comments. Remember to like and subscribe. And I will try to keep getting content onto my YouTube channel to show you how things are going here. Take care and stay safe. One quick side note. There are a lot of cars in the lot, which means there are a lot of people in the woods. Everyone out hiking today. And that's a good thing. This is Minnesota, and these are good people. All right, take care.